When technology fails deep in mountainous terrain, getting lost means catastrophic failure. Knowing how to read the landscape to find east, west, north, and south is a fundamental survival skill. Terrain orientation means tracking your movement relative to your surroundings. You must constantly calculate your direction, know your departure time, track how long you've been moving, and estimate your distance and angle from your destination. By maintaining absolute orientation from your point of origin, you ensure your squad can reliably navigate back and avoid total isolation. When navigating without instruments, your primary celestial compass is the sun. To execute basic directional tracking, begin by identifying the exact axis of sunrise or sunset. Turn your body and face directly toward the rising sun. Your front axis is now locked onto east. Your back axis is locked onto west. With your arms extended, your left arm points definitively north and your right arm points south. Use this simple, unjammable alignment matrix to instantly establish your tactical headings. When darkness falls and navigation tools fail, the night sky becomes your map. By analyzing the phases and movement of the moon, you can accurately determine your cardinal directions. The basic celestial rule remains constant. The moon always rises in the east and sets in the west. During a crescent moon phase, pay close attention to the horns of the crescent at dusk. They point toward the west. Analyze the phase closely. From a new moon to a full moon, the illuminated side faces east, while the darker, unlit curve trails toward the west. After a full moon, as it wanes, the illuminated curve shifts to face west, leaving the opposite side incomplete. If the moon's phase is difficult to read, use the stationary drift method. Sit completely still and align the moon behind a sharp, fixed object like a tree branch or a rock edge. Maintain your position for roughly 10 minutes. Watch the moon's relative position. Because of the Earth's rotation, the moon will visibly drift across the sky. The direction of that movement is always west. When the moon is obscured or absent, your fallback method is stellar orientation. Look directly overhead to read the stars. Identify a major star constellation directly over your head. By aligning your position with a fixed star cluster at the zenith, you can reliably calculate and separate your primary directional axes. When celestial navigation requires pinpoint accuracy, you must locate the anchor of the night sky, the North Pole star. First, identify the Big Dipper. Find the two outer pointer stars at the edge of its bowl. To cross-reference and verify your heading, look to the opposite side of the sky to locate Cassiopeia, recognized by its distinct W shape. Project a tracking vector from its center. Where these tracking lines intersect sits the North Pole star Polaris. This star remains perfectly stationary, anchoring the exact axis of true north. Drop your line of sight straight down to the horizon to establish your absolute north vector. When the sky is obscured, the battlefield's vegetation provides natural directional indicators. Due to consistent daylight exposure, trees develop asymmetrical growth based on the sun's path. Examine an isolated tree carefully. The side facing east receives the primary morning sunlight, resulting in noticeably thicker branch structures and denser, richer foliage leaf mass. In cooler or heavily forested zones, look closer at the bark. Parasitic plant growth and moss thrive where moisture is retained and direct sunlight is blocked. The side receiving the least direct sunlight remains damp, allowing thick moss and lichen to grow densely, resembling a heavy coat. Identify the core of this growth to isolate your moist, shaded directional axes, while the drier, bare bark indicates the opposite exposure. In total darkness, the Earth retains the memory of the sun. Large rocks, logs, and tree trunks absorb solar heat all afternoon. By feeling for the side that remains warm after dark, you instantly isolate your west vector. In cold regions or winter climates, look to the frost and dew. The colder shaded northern faces of terrain features allow frost to accumulate thickly and melt last, giving you a clear indicator of north. While morning sunlight quickly clears frost from the southern and eastern exposures, the northern base stays cold and frozen. Read these frost patterns to verify your paths. If standard navigation instruments are compromised, improvise. A piece of magnetized iron or a metal needle suspended freely by a thread or floated on water will naturally align its poles along the Earth's north-south magnetic axis. When a standard compass is available, utilize its alignment features. The main arrow or index mark is calibrated to point directly to magnetic north. Lock your bearing, calculate your offset, and use it to navigate through zero visibility terrain. Even a felled tree provides a map. Inspect the growth rings on a clean stump. The side facing south receives maximum consistent sunlight, causing the rings to grow wider and further apart. The northern side grows slower, leaving the rings tightly bunched and dense. From the heat of the rocks to the rings of a stump, the battlefield is full of silent indicators. Learn to read them, trust your training, and dominate the advance under any conditions. Technology can fail, batteries will die, and GPS signals can be jammed. But the rotation of the Earth, the patterns of nature, and the laws of physics are absolute. Master these advanced navigation disciplines. Rid the environment, trust your calculation matrix, and ensure your squad never loses its heading. Decode the environment, maintain your orientation, dominate the advance.